So she's doing well. Yeah. I mean, C-section is
She got pretty bad.
It was bad though.
yeah, because she got labor and then C-section.
Here I am. Right, isn't that song? Here I am, Lord. Good morning. We begin our time together by choosing songs from the hymnal.
Five, 7, 3.
573, verses 1 and 2. Five, 7, 5. We know that one. Kathy, do we know that one?
We absolutely know that one.
Please join me in the welcome. Welcome to the United Church. We are a peace and justice community, a movement towards wholeness in a fragmented world. Together, we create a strong sense of belonging, a safe place to flourish, and opportunities to grow in our own way and in our own time. Let's bring in the light of Christ. Do that after this. You have a different program than the rest of us.
Okay.
Sorry,
No problem. What am I to be doing?
sitting there.
Okay. I can do that.
Warren, are you back? All right, let's take a moment for social justice.
I witnessed the fruit of the Spirit in Black Mountain, North Carolina, where we participated in two, I'd say they were affirmations of democracy and freedom and free speech. And they were on the streets there in Black Mountain, and a wonderful community that's holding up that light in that part of the world. And so that was really pretty cool. No, it wasn't. It was hot up there too. The other place where I witnessed the light, like what it's saying up here, is with what the United Church of Christ did at General Center. And that is that it really went and set it like it is now becoming. And that is that what is taking place in Palestine, not just in Gaza, but in Palestine, is actually meeting the international definition for genocide, in which we are fully complicit as Americans. And so then we have come out with a statement that's very clear about that. I'm not sure if we're the first group in the United States to do this, faith group. We may well be. The Quakers in Britain were the very first ones to to speak this truth in May of this year. So here's the action. If you take a look at this that we have right here, what I would draw your attention to is the picture, the collage in the back. Genocide is described in the statement by the Quakers as something which is not just one horrific act, but rather it is an ongoing process that is about destruction. And then it leads to a path to ridding the threat to the existence of a whole group of people. So the process here is almost like a spiral. It starts with the destruction of the infrastructure in the background. Then the movement of people from one place to another, back and forth and back and forth, totally uprooting them from all that they know and all that is safe, so that there is no more home. Then it goes to food. I was struck by this picture of this young girl trying to get food. And then it goes to the Madonna. Look at the Madonna. This is like what we see in Christian tradition. Look at the Madonna. That is the picture of this process taking place. So then what do we do about it? Because it's really easy for churches to make statements. I've been involved in churches doing this for my whole career. So what do we do with it? What I think as individual Christians and as members of the United Church of Christ that we can do, and I'm disciples and UCC, is that we can take that statement, both of the Quakers in Britain and ours, and we can place it in social media. Because the depth of understanding of what it means here is far more deep than what you normally get in commercial media. Those statements really go into kind of the core of who we are as people, as human beings, as creatures of God, and also who we are as citizens. So I would encourage you to do that. I placed this on social media, my social media yesterday, and already I started having people say, I'm taking it, I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to put it on mine, and repost and repost and repost. This way we become an educational force for goodness within our space and our sphere of influence. And may God bless that. May God truly bless that as we have courage to put this out there.
Bless and multiply. That's all right. You're forgiven. Jan forgave me for giving her the wrong worship guide, so I'll forgive you. That's how it works. So this is the fourth, probably not the final lesson in the fruit of the Spirit. And I just want to give us a little recap that each week during this series, we have been sharing food with the local food pantry. We also shared yogurt. We had a trucker call us and say the retailer refused the delivery. Would we like the food? And so Alfie hustled down and loaded up his van and shared with the food pantry. We've also been sharing poetry. We've been sharing music. Last week, well, a couple of weeks ago, Kathy brought us a special message titled One Spirit, One Fruit, One Body. That prompted Hakika to share a song, One Bread, One Body, which she's going to share with us again, thank goodness. Today we include a poem sent to us all the way from New York by Susan Buse. So that's a lot of fruit from one series. And the theme has been one fruit, one series, one spirit. One God with many names, one bread, one cup, one body, sharing generously. So let's take a few deep breaths to settle and center ourselves. And I encourage you to, Alfie, will you open the door, please? Inhale deeply, thank you. I like to have the doors open because COVID is still a factor. COVID's still alive and well. And this way we can inhale deeply, exhale freely. So a few deep breaths in. I encourage you when you exhale to go ahead and release with the sound. What kind of fruit is your spirit hungry for? What type of fruit do you need? What kind of fruit does your neighbor need? Ask. Ask for what you need. Continue breathing deeply. Holy One, we are grateful to be here together in this safe and sacred space, where we are welcomed, accepted, nourished, nurtured, and fed. We're grateful for the many ways you enter our presence, revealing gifts of grit, mystery, grace. Come, Holy One, come. You are our God with many names. Come, meet our needs. Give us ears to hear, eyes to see the fruit of your Spirit, rising in new, refreshing ways. Come, Holy Spirit, come. As followers of Jesus, we pray. And the people of God say amen, which means may it be so. And the people of God say ashe, which means it will definitely be so. You're invited to come forward and light a candle, gratitude, or to represent the faith you need.
the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. This is the air I breathe. This is the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. And I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. This is my daily bread. This is my daily bread. Your very word spoken to me. I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. And I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. I'm lost without you. I'm nothing without you.
Am I? And you thought I could only read music notes. The Pharisees asked Jesus when the reign of God would come. Jesus replied, "The reign of God doesn't come in a visible way. You can't say, 'See, here it is,' or 'There it is.' The reign of God is already in your midst. The Spirit is like the wind that blows wherever it wants to. You can hear the wind, but you don't know where it comes from or where it's going." And this is a modern reading called Breathe. In the bold, you participate. "Breathe," said the wind.
How can I breathe at a time like this, when the air is full of smoke, of burning tires, burning lives?
"Just breathe," the wind insisted.
Easy for you to say, if the weight of injustice is not wrapped around your throat, cutting off all air.
"I need you to breathe. I need you to breathe."
Don't tell me to be calm. There are so many reasons to be angry, so much cause for despair.
"I didn't say to be calm. said the wind. I said to breathe. We're going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane together.
That is an evocative closing line. We are going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane together. Something to remember, like put ourselves back together again and remind. Which is why it's so important that we are mindful about our breathing and intentional about breathing together. Breathing and deep breathing is an intentional spiritual practice which brings us together, makes us one body. And I think breathing together is especially important in light of the trials and tribulations and tragedies which are taking place all around us. Sadly, horror shows abound. And not only do they fill us, can I say us? Do I have to say me? Not only do they fill me with a sense of hopelessness and dread, not only do they trigger my fear, my anger and frustration, they take my breath away. They lead me into shallow breathing. Pretty sure what's true of me is true of us. We are going to need a lot of air. We are going to need to breathe together deeply and often if we're going to make a hurricane. You know, I feel like I've been standing up here week after week for the past, has it been a year? Saying the same old thing because I'm continually hearing, seeing, experiencing a myriad of emotions which are sucking the life right out of me. And I'm seeing it affects you that way too. I see it. I hear it. I feel it. So let us be mindful of when we are shallow breathing and what is causing us to shallow breathe. Take a deep breath. Deep breathing is one of the many ways I've been trying to keep the wind in my sails. I've also been rereading the stories of Jesus and remembering to the best of my ability the wisdom and the wails of the mystics and the prophets while cherry picking a few verses to hold my focus. What have you been doing to keep the wind in your sails? You know what else helps me? Is our group discussions. They help me and they sustain me. I'm especially enjoying Margaret Wheatley's Who Do We Choose to Be? And because I can't just read one book at a time, I'm also enjoying Molly Brown and Joanna Macy's Coming Back to Life. It is really, really helpful because it is filled with reminders that the pain and the discomfort which complicates our lives with shallow breathing, the pain and the discomfort comes for a reason and with a purpose. It's the price we pay for being compassionate. We defined compassion. We reminded ourselves of the meaning of compassion last week. A lovely, rosy sounding word that means suffering with. Pain is the price we pay for being alive, for being aware, being awake. Pain is the price we pay for breathing in a world that is threatened and suffocating and suffering. Macy and Brown point out in their book, Coming Back to Life, not only is it natural for us to feel pain, it's necessary if we want to enter into collective healing. If we did not feel pain, we would not be motivated to be a movement for healing in a fragmented world. I don't know about you, but I have to remind myself of that over and over. Pain is not the problem. Pain is a holy messenger. It's a warning sign designed to get our attention to say something's wrong here. Get up. Take some action. Pain is not the problem. The problem comes when I refuse to pay attention. The problems come when I want to distract myself. The problems come when I try to dull the pain or ignore the pain or repress the pain. We've been busy redefining some words, right? Remind, remember. Repress means to push it down again and again until it becomes so tight, packed so tight inside of me I can't breathe. That's where the problem is. Doesn't make the pain go. It doesn't make the pain go away. It just restricts my breathing. You know what else restricts my breathing? Being afraid. I tighten up like that when I'm fearful. I fear losing control. I fear not being enough. I fear not having enough. I fear not doing enough. I fear living in a world which feels like it's spinning wildly out of control. I fear plunging into more and more pain. I fear living in an eternal state of despair. I fear not having enough air. We are going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane. I am looking for holy ways to handle the pain. That is the fruit of the Spirit that I am seeking.
Back on the road, they set out for Jerusalem. Jesus had a head start on them, and they were following, puzzled and not just a little afraid. He took the 12 and began again to go over what to expect next. Listen to me carefully. We're on our way up to Jerusalem. When we get there, the Son of Man will be betrayed to the religious leaders and scholars. They will sentence him to death. Then they will hand him over to the Romans, who will mock and spit on him, give him the 3rd degree, and kill him. And after 3 days, he will rise alive. That is not finished.
No, you're not finished. It is not finished.
James and John, Zebedee's sons, came up to him. Teacher, we have something we want you to do for us. What is it? I'll see what I can do. Arrange it, they said, so that we will be awarded the highest places of honor in your glory, one of us at your right and the other on your left. Jesus said, you have no idea what you're asking. When the other 10 heard this conversation, they lost their tempers with James and John, and Jesus got them together to settle things down. They spent some time in Jericho. As Jesus was leaving town, trailed by his disciples and a parade of people, a blind beggar by the name of Bartimaeus was sitting alongside the road. When he heard that Jesus the Nazarene was passing by, he began to cry out, Son of David, Jesus, have mercy on me. Many tried to hush him up, but he yelled all the louder. Jesus said, what can I do for you? The blind man said, Rabbi, I want to see. On your way, said Jesus. Your faith has saved and healed you. In that very instant, he recovered his sight.
Back on the road, they set out for Jerusalem, Jesus had a head start. They were following, puzzled, and not just a little afraid. What does that mean, not just a little afraid? Very afraid? You know, I had to go back and look at the original Greek, right? Ongoing fear and trepidation is what they were feeling. And not just one of them, all of them. Where do you think that fear was landing in their bodies? Where does fear land in your body? Like I said, it makes me tight, gets you in your throat. I feel it here a lot of times. Mostly I tighten up here, probably here too. And I stop breathing. What about Jesus? You think Jesus was afraid? Oh, I'm on thin ice there. Okay. Well, it does say he had a head start on them, if we're going to be cherry picking, right? He was ahead of them, and they were not just a little afraid. What do you think the disciples were thinking and feeling in their bodies when Jesus said, this is what's going to happen? This is what you should expect. What do you think the disciples were feeling and thinking when Jesus said, listen to me carefully, we're on our way to Jerusalem, and when we get there, the Son of Man, me, I don't know why we're doing this in the third person. I'm going to be betrayed. And when we get there, they will sentence me to death, but they won't kill me. They'll hand me over to the Romans, to the soldiers, the officers, and the agents of the oppressors. They will hand me over so that the officers and the agents become the oppressors. There's a message in that. The soldiers, the officers, and the agents, they're going to mock me, and they're going to spit on me and give me the third degree, and then they'll kill me. What do you think the disciples were feeling? Do you think they had any idea what Jesus was talking about? Do you think they were clueless about who this guy was that they were following around? Do you think they were oblivious to the fact that Jesus was not just out there ruffling feathers, but was boldly, loudly, sometimes foolishly, foolishly, pushing back against a never-ending stream of oppression and atrocities? Do you think the disciples were oblivious to the fact that Jesus was protecting and protesting, raging against the machine, speaking truth to power? Do you think the disciples knew that engaging the ways of Jesus was risky, dangerous? Cynthia and Edna, our half the year folk, sent me a video this past week of a sermon given by their Burlington, Vermont pastor, Reverend Elisa Jean. Her message was filled with reminders that when we follow the ways of Jesus, we are spinning against the ways of the world. That causes a lot of friction, right? And if we're doing it right, she went on to say, it's risky. And in Jesus' day and in our day, if we are doing it right, it's dangerous. Which gospel have you been reading? How did the disciples of Jesus, who were not just a little afraid, respond to what Jesus was saying? Well, before we get into those answers, it's worth noticing that this particular story is found in all three of the Synoptic Gospels. Mark tells this story first, followed by Matthew and Luke. And all three versions share the very same storyline, which is unusual. In all three versions, Jesus is saying, the jig is up. The news is out. They finally found me. Oh wait, that's not Jesus. It's Sticks, Connie knows. It's Stick, singing Renegades, right? But the point is, all three versions of that story, when Jesus says, the jig is up, this ministry is unraveling, no one responded to what he said. Instead, they start arguing over who's the smartest, right? Who's the biggest and the baddest? Who's going to get the best seat in the house? Who's going to be the leader now? Curious that not one of them remembers they were called to be followers. What do you think that's about? Why do you think they refuse to listen or see what Jesus is saying to them? Do you suppose it's because they share the fear of suffering? Or the fear of feeling pain? Or the fear of seeing what they're really seeing? You know what else? Not only do all three Gospels, Synoptic Gospels, John goes off on his own, but not only do all three of those Gospels share that same storyline, but all three Gospels are bookended more or less by stories about people who want to see. Stories about people begging to have their eyes opened. People who were blind or blinded and knew it. For example, in Matthew's Gospel, before Jesus says to the guys, the jig is up, the ministry is unraveling, two men who were blind began following. I'm going to say that again. Two people who were blind started following. And as they followed, they began crying and weeping and wailing and begging for mercy, which makes me wonder perhaps their eyes were beginning to open. And Jesus says to them, do you believe? And they said, yes. And Jesus says, what you believe will happen. Your faith has made you well. And their eyes were open. They wanted to see what was happening. They were not deflecting or denying. Might be a message in there. The Gospel of Mark tells a similar story. In this version, Jesus not only opens the eyes of the blind, but he says time and time again, do not be afraid. Why? Fear is debilitating. Fear makes me shallow breathe. Jesus says, do not be afraid. I'm going to open your eyes now. And he's saying this while sending them out to do some frightening, dangerous, risky things. Right? He sends them out like sheep among the wolves, saying, do not be afraid. Keep on breathing. What gospel have you been reading? Eyes are opening on both sides of this, my ministry's unraveling story. And Jesus says, listen carefully, they're going to arrest me, mock me, disappear me. And the disciples respond, oh, well, who's the greatest? Which one of us is the greatest? Which one of us gets the best seat at the table? And while the disciples are fighting, another blind person begins following. This time it's the blind beggar Bartimaeus. the outcast, the guy in the corner looking for a handout, person well aware of pain, suffering, person who is also well aware of who Jesus is and what Jesus does and where Jesus is going. And while the crowd is yelling at blind Bartimaeus to shut up and sit down, get back over there in the corner where you belong, his eyes are open and he begins following. And lo and behold, it's not the end of the story. Here we are. We are the followers now. Here we are, living, following together. One fruit, one spirit, one God with many names. One bread, one body, capable of deep breathing and breathing together. Inhale. Exhale. We are going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane. This is the time in our time together when we once more get up and be free about this space. We gather at the table to share the bread of life, to lift the cup of love in memory of and as followers of Jesus. Our table is open to everyone, no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey. You are welcome here. This is also the time when you are welcome to bring your offerings and your gifts forward. I made a little handout for you if you want it, and we can make more copies if there's not. There's also a letter from my friend, our friend Gloria, if you want that. Leave your prayer requests, light another candle, and of course, grab your noisemaker as you go back to your seat. So Hakika's going to sing, and Samuel and Myra are going to serve, and you are invited to come, where all things are ready.
One breath, one body, one word of love, one cup of blessing that we share, and we, though many, throughout the world, we are one body in this one. Oh, one breath, one body, one heart of heart, one cup of blessing that we share, and we, though many, throughout the world, we are one body in this one. One breath, one body, one word of all, one cup of blessing that we share, and we, though many, throughout the world, we are one body in this one.
one breath, one body, one heart of all, one cup of blessings that we share, and we, those many, throughout the world, we are one body in this one. I think we're all good. Thank you. Thank you for the song. Keep that really beautiful. This is your opportunity to stand up and make some noise and continue releasing as we sing Let There Be Peace. You are invited into the closing circle, and if you are not comfortable standing, we can bring the circle to you. I think I want to go around. A closing shape. I always have to correct myself. It doesn't have to be a circle. I like that, Kathy. Our closing shape is a heart. This is your opportunity to share a word, a thought, a takeaway, and then we will take a moment for announcement. You coming in the circle, Violet? There you go.
First of all, I would like to thank Bonnie and the prayer team for getting Keegan through that awful labor. So thank you very much.
So what Karen's saying is she's a great mom. I don't know if I should say it, but happy to. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Pictures aren't available.
Yes, I just wanted to say, what is happening in the immigrant community has been very painful. And, in reference to last week's teaching of patience with suffering, I know that you all, as part of the Latino community, that you all suffer with us. And I just know that being aware of our pain will make us stronger community. And God bless you all.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Donna, for reminding us who we are.
I'd like to say I like being a hurricane rather than subject to And breathing us
Yes. And that was the poem Susan sent to us. Yes.
I just wanted to say that it was so good to see all of you again, 2 Sundays in a row. How about
Mhm.
that? But I leave on Thursday, so I'll see you the next time I come back.
Good to see you,
Always
Chris.
good to see you guys.
I'm happy to see Warren and his wife back.
Yes.
And that you had an excellent experience of them. Blessings.
And I think we have a newcomer, right? Jason, what's your name?
Jason, yes.
You met him last week. and
Yes.
it's Happy to have you here again.
And David's here for the first time, so we welcome you, David. Any other takeaways? Announcements?
It seems to me that we're beginning to feel like, learn our voice. Something has changed a little bit in the last week or two. People are beginning to rise up.
We can hope.
We can hope.
Yep. We are the hurricane. I love that imagery. We are the hurricane this time.
No matter what the outcome.
Well, that's our definition of hope, isn't it? We're going to do the right thing, no matter how it turns out.
And with the theme of hope, there's an interfaith meeting after church at 1:00 at the cross, the big cross, and it includes several faith leaders. So it's another way of being encouraged. I hope some of you will come.
Yeah, and post in the newsletter.
Yes. I just wanted to say that, as you all know, there's a council meeting next Sunday after church. So I'm going to fill in for Ron leading that meeting. So if you have any agenda items, are really welcome. So please just let me know.
Thank you. Other announcements? All right, let's share the benediction, and then we were going for our second communion, which is over there on the table. We are blessed, and we are blessed. We go in peace.
You want to stay for that?
I live in Ohio, we used to live down there. Now I'm in Ohio, so yeah. Connie down here to see you. Yes, Violet. That was my movie things happen, so.
Yeah, tags get lost.
They're big chapters, very adventurous, no way. They contact me, bring me down to a house sit, dog sit for them. So then I get to come here, which is always makes me happy. Are you happy, Violet? Yes, I always love that.
She's cute. Yes, I'm sure she does.
Jan, thanks for.
Oh, that helps a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
It sounded great. So,
Just make sure I give you a little prep.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're down here for work. I have my cousins down here, but
She must have.
No, I like it.
I know.
I know, but
You know, tomorrow.
I would actually take 2 chocolate cookies and put bacon on them and eat like a sandwich.
We're going now.
Yeah.
We're going right now.
Where?
I had to get my keys out.
Right?
We have
Never do the one.
Well, Chris. I
we are.
When you come back, you know?
Well, you know, you're just calling and say, hey, we're going such and such. How's that? They've been to Norway and then this other island off of Norway and Iceland. And her blog has been amazing. She shows pictures of polar bears and
I've always wanted to go to Scotland and Rome. I'll never make it. I've never had the money.
oh, yeah, man, trust me, she's been saving for years.
It would cost just a few pounds. You have to have something.
So I live vicariously through her blog.
I mean, I'm not gonna imagine.
If I had been able to retire.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Talking to me.
Wait, watch this here.
Okay, good to see you all. Welcome to the town.
Thank you.
Trying. Now if you want to know everything.
Well, okay.
Everything.
No.
There's a
How long do you have?
finally I found said I can't remember the one island they were going to Norway and then the island they were going to. So I'm really following the blog.
I
All
had to
kinds
just
of
try to
stuff. No idea
podcast.
who they are. She's just so good. Walrus and polar bears and I absolutely got curious.
He needs to say it again.
No, I have no idea. I'm a cat person. I'm a cat.
Oh, thanks. This is the last day of the work.
We didn't have. Supposed to be a regional church.
There you go. Jan, my next Jan, my great nephew is great. He is so tall. And that's John, my nephew. And it's Jackson. My great-grandmother.
It's a habit, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
You just keep on eating.
Very good.
Yeah, and so she's smart. And Greg is going to Penn State. He's from
What you doing? What you doing?
And then this little guy's gonna be 7 Yeah. It's nice he said that, but he's more social. He's more She held up really well. At the end of the week, she was asking for something. She was asking
It's very important.
so she could get up and down the board. Oh, this is the house. This is an ice cream. It's like, it's just so big.
Go ahead, raise it.
That's the tip of Red. That's a place we used to stay. I know.
We already
Well,
paired.
it is very shady.
House is clean.
Oh my God. You are something.
They went to yoga. I couldn't go. I can't. But this was great for the Lord. Oh, no. I mean, our nephew would come in.
My friend did. That's it.
Yeah, they were just. We stayed in a hotel. I was across the street from the church.
I
Well,
thought
they were packed. Oh, yes, this is very nice. It's like a
rather than that.
beach here, so yeah. We went to 5 stores. We haven't gone in 6 years, so we went 5 stores. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice. Yeah. So by the end of the week, she was just asking, should we go to and it was easy. So I'm gonna go get
So is there actually a hall?
That's my instrument. How you Maybe I haven't touched it
She's giving me a hard time. I said, I haven't touched it all. Now, last Sunday, I didn't hear
How did you
Mike, yeah, he definitely doesn't want anymore. He drank it. His little belly is so tight, so he doesn't want anymore. I tried to come to God. He didn't want it anymore.
Yeah, he fights it sometimes. He can swing. Yeah, so you want to help him with body or what's that? You need to help him.
$30.
Yeah.